4 Summoners packed. He's got Green Sun Zenith, and then just a lot of cards that just kind of work.
Right.
I am going to bet that game 1, Joe is actually going to be in some rough shape unless he can get a good Cabal Therapy followed up by a Hymn to Torok right away. And do remember, though, Joe does have Chrome Mox, so he can actually turn 1 Hymn to Torok.
And it looks like Bernardo's going to be on the play here.
Cracking a Verdant Catacombs for a forest. There is only 1 Verdant Catacombs in his deck.
Oh.
So,
yeah, he's 12 lands plus, yeah.
Interestingly, he does have Green Sun Zenith, but no Singleton Dryad Arbor. That's actually kind of a small surprise.
I don't know that it's the accelerant that he's looking for.
I understand. It's just usually just having that option.
Just having it there
is just kind of a usual kind of thing. I would even in a deck like this, I could see it being of good. Wirewood Symbiote, a very, very powerful card.
Right, we're going to see Joe get started here. He's also going to start with the Verdant Catacombs. He's cracking down and is going to end up here with a Swamp. It's so weird to see people breaking these for non-dual lands on both sides of the table.
Yeah, and actually for Joe, one of the things that he's aware of is that his opponent could actually just beat him down. Get a groundswell of creatures and beat him down. Cabal Therapy. Now, the proper way to use a Cabal Therapy, you don't try to guess what they've got. Name what you fear.
Right.
Name what you're scared of, and then that's your best shot.
And so we're looking at a Nettle Sentinel, a Forest.
A Priest of Titania.
Is that a second?
Double Priest of Titania.
Okay.
Summoning is Pact, not Trap.
Yeah. So not a bad draw at all.
I think he whiffed there on that. I don't know what he named, but I think that was a whiff.
What would you call if that was you?
Well, it depends what I'm scared of, right? I see Wirewood Symbiote, which indicates elves. On turn 2, I would say probably either Rofalos or Priest of Titania, actually.
Yeah.
And a Glimpse of Nature, that's also a very reasonable one, but I don't think the Glimpse was going to get him yet. I would go for the most powerful accelerant and have that be the thing I would name.
And there's
In for Uno.
Yep.
Take 1. Go to 18.
You got to start somewhere, and that. All right, we can see.
Priest.
Yep, here it comes. All right. So things are kind of shaping up pretty well.
What Joe wants to do here, I think, is either cast a Hymn to Turok, or cast a Cabal Therapy plus Swords to Plowshares, or cast a Bob, Dark Confidant.
Well, he's got the Dark Confidant in hand.
So he's got 1 good line.
He's not going to be able to run the Hymn unless he has a Chrome Mox he's debating on. Well, we're going to see.
The choice between casting Dark Confidant and, if he does have, for the sake of argument, a Swords to Plowshares in hand, is whether he thinks that Bernardo can go off next turn.
Well, he's got the Pact and he's got the Sentinel, so things could get out of hand. Still debating.
I go with the Bob here. Yeah. I don't think you're threatened yet.
There he goes. All right.
Okay.
Now, if you have the Hymn there, that's probably the time, right?
It's actually a tough choice. I think I might go with Bob anyway, just because I think you've got at least 1 turn before your opponent gets you. So getting a Bob going 1 turn earlier. Glimpse. Oh, that wasn't there a second ago.
Nope.
And now things are in real danger for Joe here.
And it just kind of shows just a little bit,
Nettle Sentinel, draw a card.
Yep.
A Wirewood Symbiote can make a grand total of 4 mana with Priest of Titania now, but it's going to be probably more than that in a moment. It's actually 3 mana because you'd have to recast the Nettle Sentinel to make it.
There's the Pact. So he's going for it. Let's see what that's kind of the fickle nature of Magic. You have to be good, but then that Glimpse is in his hand. This is a different game right now with the Cabal Therapy. So what's he going to search up here?
It would not be unreasonable to go for a Heritage Druid or an Elvish Visionary.
Yep, there's the Heritage Druid.
Okay.
So not unreasonable at all.
I'd also like to let you know that we're going to be shutting down side events at the end of this round of the Legacy Open. So if you want to get in one last draft, one last Widow Box, one last Commander Pod.
I'm going to tap the Priest here for 2 mana. lay the Heritage Druid. Unless he has a Elvish Spirit Guide, and then maybe he'll cast the Heritage Druid first.
Yeah, nope, here comes the tap.
Priest of Titania taps for 2 mana.
And what's the other card there that he has left? All right, there's the
Heritage
Druid's
draw
down.
a card. 1
Draw.
green and pool. A 1-drop. Oh, boy. And that was a Nettle Sentinel. Now he's empty of mana. He can make 3 mana with the Heritage Druid double Nettle Sentinel. He's got another Priest of Titania in his hand. We know it.
Yep.
There it is.
Yeah.
1 mana left. But he can use that Heritage Druid to make 3 from it.
And this is going to be...
And remember, he also can return a creature to his hand with the Wirewood Symbiote.
Mm-hmm.
There's 4 mana total. Cast... Quirion Ranger. That can return a forest to untap something. He's got 3 mana left. There's 6 mana. Llanowar Elf. Draw a card. He's down to 5 mana.
Looks like another symbiote in his hand now.
There's 8.
And there's a
Wirewood
symbiote.
Symbiote. He's out of elves, but that's okay because he can return 2 elves to his hand. He's got 7 mana remaining. Can untap. Jeez. 6 mana remaining. 9 mana.
Oh no!
Is that a Nettle Sentinel?
Nettle Sentinel.
Oh boy. 8 mana, and he now has triple Sentinel. 8 makes 11. Is that a Visionary? Yeah, it is a Visionary.
Yep.
Draw. Down to 9 mana. Makes 3. Is that Elvish?
Archdruid.
Archdruid. That is a net 0 for mana, so it's 9. Still at 9 mana. Makes that 12 mana.
And another
Nettle Sentinel. Oh, boy. Up to 14 mana now.
He's just rolling full speed ahead.
17. 16 mana.
Draw a card. The elf sleeves are kind of cute, don't you think?
19 mana. Elvish Spirit Guide. Back down to 16. Up to 19 again.
Yep.
I don't know. Okay, Bernardo's in the plus 20 mana category, and Joe is in the shoot himself in the face territory.
Yeah, there's just... I mean, what do you do?
You just wait.
Yep.
Visionary. It's a net of 2 cards. Draw.
So at this point in the game, should Bernardo, for whatever reason, not get there, he certainly has a very lethal table on his side.
And in fact, the only thing that Joe is doing right now, he doesn't have access to Bernardo's deck list.
Mm-hmm.
All that Joe is doing is finding out what's in Bernardo's deck list. Because Joe cannot win here at all from the cards he has in his deck.
No.
If Bernardo just stopped playing, as long as he paid for the Pact of Summoning, the Summoner's Pact, he would not die and Joe would lose.
Right. Nope, there's another glimpse coming down just to make sure. And yeah, so Joe's scouting out the win condition here.
Exactly. That's all that's happening is Joe is waiting to find out how does Bernardo win so that he can be a little bit more prepared for game 2. And right now they have, I think, agreed by mutual assent that we're going to call Bernardo's mana infinite. It's not actually infinite, but it's effectively infinite, and Joe's going to be like, that's fine, just keep going.
Yeah. It is. Good. No, it's mana burn back in this game.
Elves is one of those decks that if you're looking for a more affordable deck, I'm not sure how well you know card prices, but just looking at this, I don't think that there are very many cards that are of real value. There's an Emrakul, which is not particularly expensive. There's 4 summoners packed, and the Emrakul comes into play. Joe scoops it on up. The 1 Concordant Crossroads I think is good, but probably not even necessary, though I do like it. This is a very affordable deck, and I think it's very competitive.
It is, and and if combo is your thing, it's a very fun deck to put together because it's got that, like you said, innate resiliency. Like if his combo fizzles right there, he's still got a heck of a beatdown.
Absolutely.
Beatdown plan. So we're going to check out our sideboarding.
Now Joe has 4 Perishes, 4 Wrath of God. No, I'm just kidding. He doesn't have any of that. He has Diabolic Edict, and
yeah.
I think he could potentially run Extirpate if he really felt he had a bunch of dead cards, but that's kind of pushing it a little bit. But you never know. If you feel like your cards are particularly dead, running a card like that in there to try to mess with this, that's... Yeah. Now, Bernardo, what did he see? He saw a discard spell,
He saw a
and he saw a Dark Confidant. So... at this point, he's probably got Joe Bernal, if he doesn't already have Joe's deck scouted, on some version of Dead Guy Ale. And one person asks, why is this called Dead Guy Ale? Well, basically, Team Dead Guy, which was like a classic team from the olden days. Chris Pakula came back for a Grand Prix, hadn't played in a long time. Chris Pakula, also known as the Meddling Mage. If you look at the original art of Meddling Mage, that's Chris Pakula on there. And he got 2nd place with a black-white deck sporting Dark Confidants, discard, and basically the kind of deck you're seeing here from Joe Bernal. Joe mixed this deck a little bit with a black-white token-style shell, using Lingering Souls to kind of, I'll say, jumpstart it.
Right.
Now, Bernardo... So Dead Guy Ale, well, it was called that basically because it was brewed up by this Dead Guy team member, so hence Dead Guy Ale. Bernardo Fonseca, his sideboard, he saw a little bit in there that, indicates a black-white style deck like Dead Guy Ale. I would say he might bring in Thorn of Amethyst just to mess with Joe's responses.
Yeah. And there's nothing really else that he's got. You could make some sort of argument for Fairy Macabre, but not really.
Yeah, I think it's probably just going to be Thorn. Maybe Vengevine if he thinks that Joe has really good answers to him. Because Vengevine is just very good at being a plan B against a deck that stops you from being a combo deck.
Certainly. And so with Joe on the play here, I think he's going to try and get very aggressive.
Actually,
in the hand attack.
I see another option for Joe for the sideboard. He can bring in Enlightened Tutor and use the Enlightened Tutor to tutor up Umezawa's Jite if he gets a fast creature down.
Sure.
So that just means more ways to get Jite. And Jite is actually incredibly effective against elves.
Yeah, those -1/-1 counters. Because, I mean, as you saw, like once he got going, he had so much redundancy, so much resiliency, was great. But those first few turns, those first few elves, kind of the building blocks. And every time you stutter him up, it's going to take that much longer. And Joe actually has a very good answer system with his removal, with his hand disruption. So this match could be much more in-depth and interesting than we saw in Game 1.
Absolutely. Now, some people might think, I mean, we don't know all of Joe's hand, he shouldn't have tapped out for that Dark Confidant. Let's pretend he doesn't tap out. He might be able to disrupt Bernardo a little bit more, but the thing is Bernardo's combo is so resilient that it wouldn't be very much disruption, and Joe didn't see him having the kill yet.
Right, I mean, the Glimpse of Nature was not in hand. And that was a decision that Joe made knowing that there was no Glimpse of Nature. Unfortunately for him, Glimpse of Nature was hovering right on top of the deck.
Yeah, he called it just to try to stop the combo previously, and there it was, like you said, hiding on top. I mean, I actually think that if the Dark Confidant play made him most likely to be able to be in a good position in the subsequent turns. You have to decide, do you want to be good right now or good tomorrow? And he made the decision, I think I want to be good tomorrow, and I think that was probably the right call.
It looks like we're going to draw our opening hands. I see a Liliana, a Stoneforge Mystic for Joe.
Remember, Joe has 3 main deck Zealous Persecutions. So those are actually very effective against an elf army.
Yeah, -1 is quite a big deal when there's no lords on the table.
The number of lords that Bernardo has in his deck in order to pump his creatures up, he has two Elvish Archdruids, and that's it.
That's about it. So
And Bernardo mulligan down to 6.
And that's the danger with combo decks. Sometimes you just don't have the hand you need. You have to be prepared to mulligan to get the hand you want. But in this case, it's also going to make him much more susceptible to the discard outlets that Joe's going to be putting at him. So as a combo player, how do you weigh that balance between, is this hand going to be good enough to win versus do I need to keep some cards back just to not lose the cards that I need?
I mean, I feel like you generally have to err on the side of aggression when it comes to being a combo deck, just because if you've got a bad hand, it's almost like some of those cards aren't there anyway. So if you're playing against a deck that includes card advantage discard, like Hymn to Torok or like Gerard's Verdict or Blightning in more current formats, you just hope they don't have those cards and try to get the good hand.
All right, and we're off.
Turn 1 Verdant Catacombs from Joe versus a Fintorn Elf from Bernardo.
Joe's going to untap. He must be looking for a land. I see a Wasteland in his hand there. It's not going to get him very far. He's going to debate here. And we're going to see a Swamp, cracking that down.
Joe Bernal, 1 life here. I'm going to guess for a Scrubland.
No,
he goes for the basics.
Right,
well, he doesn't know Bernardo's list. He doesn't know if Bernardo has a Wasteland.
Right.
Most of these elf combo decks don't, but he's playing a little safe.
Right,
it's an Edict.
Edict.
Oh, I love that card.
Yep. So we're gonna see this elf take a hike.
What I really like about seeing that Diabolic Edict is that it's not a Chainer's Edict.
Yes.
I don't like Chainer's Edict. Sorry, all of you out there that like your card advantage, but that's a lot of work for your card advantage.
All right, so I think we're going to see Liliana come down next turn. That's going to put Joe in pretty good place here.
We see another 1-mana play from Bernardo. Elvish Spirit Guide, never mind. Elvish Spirit Guide number 2.
All right,
Elvish Visionary, draw.
That's the Elvish Archdruid.
Oh, Archdruid, okay. Wow. Liliana killing the Archdruid.
Such a good... Oh, there's a Bob on top
Boom.
of that. Now, Liliana has so much play here because it can wreck your singleton creature. It can go for the hand. Like, there's just...
Joe almost knocking over his deck.
All right.
You see... I
think
you say you see Stoneforge Mystic in his hand?
He has a Stoneforge Mystic and a Dark Confidant right now.
He goes for the discard, and I think it's a Wasteland for him, and it's a...
Looks like a
Heritage Druid for his opponent, and then we have a Bob and a Stoneforge Mystic, probably getting Umezawa's Jite.
And it looks like, you're correct, it looks like Joe is holding the Extirpate in his hand as the other card. So
he's got enough dead cards just to get an Extirpate in there, get rid of a Heritage Druid, which stops the massive mana or if he hits a Glimpse, get rid of a Glimpse for later on.
All right, so this is a very good position unless Bernardo can just ratchet up. And being on, I don't know, with the Elvish Spirit Guides down, it's in a pretty tall order position right now.
I don't think Bernardo can come back unless he wins right now.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a rough one for him.
Because, if Jite gets online, then that's just...
Jite plus Liliana, and then a Bob fueling you, and then Extirpate for any weirdness. The Extirpate is super corner case in this moment, but...
It's still super good with what's in the graveyard.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that Heritage Druid is a relevant thing to get rid of. Glimpse.
Yeah.
And Bernardo realizes this is the moment. He's got to do for it.
He's got to go. So let's see what he gets. He's gonna tap that guy down for some mana. He's gonna pull another Llanowar Elf. Draw.
He needs a forest and a something. There we go.
There's a forest. And a Heritage Druid.
And
draw.
And he's gonna be stuck here unless he gets a Elvish Spirit Guide and another one dropper. And there it is.
He sends it back over. Now that wasn't the worst because now at least he has some protection for Liliana.
Absolutely.
So he can keep his Heritage Druid around.
What's going to happen is you're going to see a Stoneforge Mystic pick up an Umezawa's Jite and just tear up that board.
Right. Yeah, there's actually no way he survives this turn with all those creatures, is it? I mean, all his guys are just dead.
Joe might not even kill all of them.
Yeah.
Joe might leave him with something, just so he can keep Liliana around.
No, but he can take Liliana, attack with the Jitte, and ping the other two.
But the other guy, he doesn't have to block. He can just take that to the dome and then kill 2 creatures, leaving him with 1 creature.
Yeah, but Liliana kills the other one.
No, I'm saying I don't think you want to lose.
Oh,
Liliana.
yeah, you don't want to lose it. Yeah,
Like,
sure.
I would say he would leave Bernardo with one of these elves.
Well, Bernardo's on 1 card right now. And we're gonna see, yeah. Oh, maybe. Yeah, let's get rid of that. No weirdness, no variance.
There's a
Elvish
visionary.
That's a really
And there we go. Jitte, equip, attack,
smash.
no blocks.
No
He'll
blocks.
take 1, and then immediately just kill your Heritage Druid, and maybe kill something else.
Wait, what's this card do? Oh, that's bad. All right.
For those of you who are just joining us, I'm Adrian Sullivan. I'm joined here in the booth by Jason Reedy, and you're watching the round 6 of the Star City Games Open Series here of Legacy. It's day 2 in Memphis, and Joe Bernal on the right, Bernardo Fonseca on the left. Bernardo went off really quick last game, and now Joe is just tearing him up this game with Umezawa's Jitte. Ooh, and he shows he's got extirpate in there, and just an excellent disruption, plus Liliana to help things out.
Yep. This game is destined to be over here pretty soon. Bernardo's essentially drawing dead, no creatures, no hands, and 3 lands. And now do you feel like he's on the same plan that Joe was last game, just kind of see what your opponent's got?
Yeah, he's learning. He's finding out what's available here from Joe. And what did he get? He got a Batterskull. Now, actually, I'm surprised that Joe still has a Batterskull in here. I know that he has Stoneforge Mystic, but a Batterskull plan is so slow, and by the time it gets going, he's already got the game. I would hazard to say that that's incorrect, that it's in his deck.
He doesn't seem like he has a great many side things just to bring in general. I mean, the Diabotic Edict and the Extirpate have come in already.
Yeah, so I mean, you take out this is my plan. I would take out the 1 Batterskull. I would take out the 4 Bitter Blossoms, because they're very slow. It's 5 cards. I would bring in 2 Diabolic Edicts. I would bring in some number of Extirpate, and I would bring in Enlightened Tutor, just to make the Jitte become all the more likely to happen.
And during this conversation, the beatdown has commenced.
Extirpate after the draw, knocking out what? I think he probably hit either Glimpse. We'll find out in a second. There's the Glimpse.
There's the Glimpse. Yep.
Boom, 1 Glimpse.
And plus, this is actually going to give Joe a bit of an advantage because he's in game 3. Because now he can see what did he bring in against me. You know, are there any weird cards that I need to be aware of going into the next game?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I see any weird cards.
Everything looks pretty straightforward. He successfully found all the glimpses.
I don't know if I don't know if I saw any sideboard cards from Bernardo. I don't think I did.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he just left it as is, which I mean, I guess is fine.
There's nothing wrong with that. His sideboard isn't particularly directed at Joe's deck. Bernardo draws, is probably going to say go.
Just doing some math here. 1 carry the 1. Yeah, that's gonna. Oh.
Gonna cast an Archdruid?
A Zealot maybe? No. Oh, Green Sun
Green
for
Suns
2.
for 2. What do we want to get there with the Green Suns for 2? Visionary, Elvish Visionary would be my guess.
Yeah, get it in, draw a card. Of course, I don't know what he can really hope to draw here because Liliana is just gonna kick it.
He already had the land in play, I think, so he wants to get a land.
He's kind of deciding here. Yep.
There's the Visionary.
He's going to pass it back over, shuffle up. And Bernardo just kind of drawing things out. And yeah, he gets the land. So I guess that was their he can't naturally cast anything scary.
The best he can do is get a Viridian Zealot, either with a Green Suns, and then off the Umezawa's Jite, and try to stay alive that way.
And here comes some more damage. The Visionary bites it to the -1/-1 counter, powered up by the artifact. And Bernal's going to send it back over. Now, both of these games have gone relatively quickly, but you have to wonder how much time they're burning for potential Game 3 stalemate. And Batterskull comes down thanks to Stoneforge Mystic.
And Bob shows a card. We're going to see 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 damage. And I think that'll do her. If he pumps all in, I think that's it.
Yep, that's going to do it. And he's completely defenseless there.
Yep, dead.
Dead. Shake hands.
To
Maybe.
Game 3? Okay, to Game 3. There we go.
So are there any sideboarding changes that do you think that Bernardo is going to make now that he knows what's going on with Joe's deck? Because he didn't really see a whole lot of it Game 1.
I mean, it's possible he might bring in Krosan Grip if he thinks that Umezawa's Jite is going to be a critical part of how Joe needs to beat him. I think that would be completely reasonable. 2 Krosan Grips wouldn't interrupt him very much. He's already seen, you know, the Stoneforge Mystics, so he knows that there are going to be other targets for it, and it doesn't interrupt his deck very much to actually do that. And remember, on a deck like this,